Hello guys, and welcome to today's episode. Today we're reviewing somewhat of a very iconic brand. We are going to review the 3 Series chassis, probably the most famous one if you've ever played Need for Speed, for example.
Your driver is a wanted suspect, returnable on multiple warrants. He can be expected to ram police to evade arrest.
But we're also going to look into ownership and also the economic part of it this time. Simply because it's such an iconically often chosen car, both for drifting, racing, whatever you want to do with a BMW, you can basically do it. So how can you get a hold of one with most of the equipment, most of the comfort, but also as much horsepower and torque as you can possibly get for the least amount of money? So if you come with me, myself and Octavian will take you through ownership of the E46. And of course, Phil, run some cinematics. Let's go. As you can see, the steering wheel and the gear knob has touches from M-Tech, which goes to show you that it has a very high level of equipment in here. It also has air conditioning, it also has cloth, fully adjustable seats, and as you can see, the interior is black on black with this nice accent that makes it seem a little bit more businessy. And of course, this is the 330D, meaning this is basically what you would own if you were an executive at some company, most likely back in the early 2000s, because this car is a very, very, very well equipped and beautiful car once you're out driving on the street. As you can see as well, sitting in the back of the car is perfectly fine. I'm a big guy and I fit perfectly in here. There's perfect amount of leg room, even though the owner of this car is quite long. He's higher than me, etc. So even when he sits comfortable, I still have plenty of leg space, plenty of headroom. So back here you have, well, all you need. It's quite simplistic, but that's kind of what most cars back in the day would have. So yeah, you open your window and you open the door. That's kind of it. But you're very comfortable back here. A lot of visibility through the windows as well. And of course, what else would you need being driven around in this? Alright guys, welcome to the driver's seat of the E46 330D. This car is amazing. Floor it, and the amount of torque just pushes you into the back of the seat. This car has all the power you need, 184 horsepower, but diesel horsepower. So it's fairly instant the second you push the throttle, but also you just feel like a king in here. The seats are super comfortable, yet they're sporty enough to support you when you're driving a little bit enthusiastically. Of course, we are lucky enough to have the manual gearbox, which also is something that most people with this amount of equipment didn't really option to have. So BMW made sure that even if you like comfort, you can still choose your own gears, you know? At the same time, this car is for the Portuguese market, meaning it didn't come with leather seats, as I showed you. It has cloth, and that's simply because it's so warm down here that if they were leather, you just burn yourself. Sitting down in the middle of summer. But luckily, the car has air conditioning, so whenever it is super warm and you might turn into bacon, you can just put that on and you won't. Another special feature from back in 2002, which was very exclusive, was cruise control. And this car has it as well. And you can just adjust that with the buttons on the steering wheel, which was also pretty new back then. Very groundbreaking, and made the BMW 3 Series a very, very good choice in terms of both being modern at the time, having all of the necessary tech, but also just the solid construction. You know, this is German engineering. It doesn't break, but of course we also know that there are faults, as it is with any car, and this is from 2002, but this drives like a knife through butter. It's so comfortable. I'm loving it. Quite simply, it's very nice to drive, and you can choose any gear, put the foot down, and you'll go. No questions asked. This car is absolutely lovely. So, how much would you have to pay to get you one of these? Well, here in Portugal, a good condition 330D E46 can be up to 10,000 euros. Now, that might differ in your respective markets or countries, whatever you would like to categorize it as, but here in Portugal, if you pay up towards 10,000, you get one as pristine as this one. It's also very reliable in terms of this particular model, has driven a lot through Europe. And that's just based on information from the current owner, that past owners have used this car to travel through Europe and see probably most of it in the car. And it doesn't feel like anyone has driven that far with this car. That's for sure. Now, in terms of infotainment system and so on back in the day, early 2000s, they didn't have a lot. So this is, of course, the 3 Series, so it's very driver focused. And since it's driver focused, then a lot of the things that you can do with the infotainment system is very standard. You know, you have AM, FM, you can scan, you have different modes, and of course you can then, since this is more of an executive car, you can block out parts of the music and so on when you get a call, all of those things, which is, back then, somewhat groundbreaking. Most of it was new to people, but in terms of looks and such, it's nothing special. You choose the temperature you want in the car, you choose what radio station you want in the car, and there were a lot of optional extras, but based on what I see in this car, it came with what was necessary, and that was it. And as the driver, I really don't need more than what it already has in here. I don't need to be looking at sat nav, nothing. It's just about you and driving on the road. And for that, this car and this chassis is absolutely amazing. Like, this is 4th gear. I put my foot down, and you might not notice it, but I feel like I'm flying. So yeah, it's incredible. And of course, when you have this much torque and horsepower, you also need stopping power. And the brakes on the 330D is the brakes that usually any drifter or any race car driver would take from this car and put on their car to help with increased stopping power and more reliability in terms of braking. So this car is as safe as they come as well. It's simply just magnificent. And I've never been much of a BMW guy. Back in the day, I just saw most people drive around in them, and I thought, like, yeah, sure, Beamer boys, etc. But I get it now. It makes full sense. And I also fully understand people who choose to use diesel as the, well, I'm gonna say necessary fuel, because in today's economic status, it's very difficult to justify driving like the 325i or the 330ci, for example, on the E46, which are pretty much magnificent as well. But you get the same amount of comfort, you get the same amount of power I would say, delivered here if you drive the car normally. You know, that's probably the most crucial part of the comparison. If you're driving this as a daily driver and you use it every day, and you just, you know, drive like a normal person, still you can put your foot down and just get going. But if you use it for everyday use, the 330D with all of the amenities that it has here, it's just the perfect choice. Truly, it's such a great car. I'm astounded by the build quality. It's quiet in here with the windows up and everything. It's just silent. And this car is from 2002. It's quite amazing that the most amount of noise I hear in here is the air conditioning. Go figure. Why hasn't most other brands been able to do this since 2002? I don't know. But BMW definitely nailed it, for sure. So, should you buy a car like this? 100%. If you're looking for a reliable car that's comfortable and also just can get up and go whenever you put your foot down, then this car is perfect. It looks good. The facelift, some people absolutely love it. Some people think it looks too nice compared to the pre-facelift. The pre-facelift being the M3 that most people know and love, etc. But I think that the facelift model looks just as good. You know, it's distinctively beautiful, I would say. And it's the perfect choice. You can look good. You can also completely customize the car to look the way you want it to. Lip kit, put that on, it'll look quite different. You can also just go for M-style bumpers. Most people choose to do so. This car has everything original on it. It's nothing has been altered. It's just absolutely perfect. So I want to say thank you to Octavian for actually lending us the car and letting us show you how this car handles, looks, feels. And I promise you, if you are looking for a sedan with rear wheel drive, a manual gearbox, this ticks all the buttons. Truly does. And I couldn't imagine anything better to drive as a daily driver than this. There you have it. So go get one while you can, because soon also these will be worth a lot of money. Thank you guys. Let's just have Phil give you a little bit more of that perfect cinematic stuff, and then we'll sum it up. Let's go, Phil. Alright guys, so we've reviewed this BMW E46. I hope that this has been educational for you as well. And of course, is it worth it? I'd say it's worth it. This is a great package. It gives you the ability to drift. It gives you the ability to pass cars rather quickly. All of that torque, as I mentioned, will make sure that you get a great experience. It's well equipped. You'll have anything you need. You can go around and going to places with your friends. So thank you very much for watching. Remember, hit the subscribe button and hit the bell so you know the next time we actually show a video. And other than that, please comment what you thought. And of course, share this to people you know would enjoy watching an E46. Thank you guys. See you in the next one. Bye.
Just tell some bullshit just to
have like the voice
check.
and all of that.
Yeah.
So as you can see, the sun is actually perfectly showing my facial features. Look at this. This is not a chiseled chin. This is a round one, as you can see. But this is just a test as well. And hopefully the stabilizer works, because my cameraman is just coughing the hell out of himself.